Dude,
That's
I was,
that's a working title.
you post it on her channel and it like just blows up, like well past anything that we're actually putting any thought into.
We should have been doing this the whole time.
You gotta sneak it in. That's all. You gotta sneak it in.
That's
Today
I live my
on
life
the
about
movie
sneaking
view.
things in. on
Ba-dum-bum.
that on that note, welcome back to Not a Strong Start, a podcast by filmmakers who talk movies, television, and sneak things in. I'm your host, FU and Sam Raimi.
I'm not your host till movies do us part.
And I'm the other guy. Well, that's it. We're done.
I like it how Jose was holding up his bag and I couldn't hear anything on the microphone.
No.
It was like you were just rolling up a bleezy, some would say. Yes, but in this week's episode, we're having a little fun with this one, and this is the one that George came up with. The idea is in movies that our spouses or significant others just straight up hate. Movies that we love. So, have you ever been, you have a significant other, somebody that you're dating, and they just, you go, you put on the movie, and looking at them, and you're watching them and trying to see, okay, this is the best part, and then they're just staring at it bored. They jump on their phone or they fall asleep, and it's like, ah, crap. And then sometimes you have to sit there and think, is this the right person for me? Because I'm going to definitely not stop watching this damn movie. So at this point, it becomes, do I stay with them or do I keep watching the movie? And we always choose the movie.
And you got to keep looking over like, are you paying attention? You missed that part. Did you see that part?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll rewind it. But first, we're going to hit you with a current event.
So, Dan, actually, I'm not sure if you're familiar, George. I know you're familiar with, but the video game Until Dawn.
Is that the one where it's like a storyline, you could like change
It's a
it, alter it?
storyline,
Yep.
and pretty much based off of your decision and your actions,
Mm-hmm.
you can lead you to like 7 different endings, and
Yes.
depending on what you do, depends how many characters survive by the end.
Yep. And you could turn good guy or bad guy or something, right? And you can like alter. Is that kind of it? No?
No, you play the characters, but if you don't play right, if you make all the bad decisions, if you go left when you should have gone right, by the end you might have no one left. Uh,
That's how
so
you end up with my life.
the game became very popular because it basically was controlling a horror movie within that. So the gameplay wise, you don't have a lot of intricacies when it comes to gameplay wise, but it's about the decision making and leading the story. That's what made it popular to this day, still very popular, and they've gone on to make other games that are similar. With that being said, they're going to take Until Dawn and they're going to make it into a movie, a live action movie.
It's starring Pedro
For
Pascal.
yes.
Probably.
Not a lot of details are out there yet, just that they are taking it, they are making it into the movie. I know how I feel about it, but I want to hear your thoughts. Dan, we'll start with you.
So it sounds kind of contrarian, some would say, right? You have an idea for something and you say, well, this is so different because it's not about this, and it just becomes a product of what it was supposed to be. So I'm sure all of you. So to me, not having really played much of the video game, it's just another movie to me. I don't really know. It's just another. I mean, every character make decisions in a movie. So if it's a horror movie, it's other characters making bad or good movies. So unless they tie it into a way to make it more creative, it's just another movie. So you're literally just borrowing a title of an IP of a intellectual property, just for sales. Because like, how is it? I mean, is there like original characters or world building, or is it just
No,
then? No, it makes no sense to
no.
do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the character's original to the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's just a name though. You're just
Yeah.
using a character name in the title.
I think this is my first time hearing of it being greenlit. I remember they toyed with this idea for a while back. I didn't know they were going through with it. Is there information about this going into theaters or is it going to streaming? And I say that because if they do something like how Black Mirror did, was it Balderdash?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
right? Was that
Mhm.
the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you got to choose aspects in that film of what things that were going to happen. If they do like something like that for like on Netflix or something like that, that could be really cool. Because I've always thought that was a cool idea for a live action film where you actually can decide what's going to happen next for these characters. So if they can manage to do something like that, that could be really cool. But if it goes straight to theaters, then why are you wasting my time? Then that gives the story a definitive answer that we didn't want to have.
It just feels very redundant. The game itself, the story of the game, it's not, if you just look at the story, it's not an overly elaborate story. It's a
No.
pretty, generic horror story about these young people who go up to like an abandoned like ski area in the mountains. They get trapped with a killer. Killer's hunting them down one by one. Who is the killer? We don't know. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. What made it popular is that it was in video game form, and now you control some of that narrative and you changing it up. Now you take that away from us, all it is a generic horror movie that you probably release in the beginning of January, and people forget about it throughout it. So you're taking away what made this property valuable. Now, unless you figure out some kind of technology where they, instead of 3D glasses, they're handing us out like little controllers, or there's an app to it where like people in the theater could then like choose and consensus makes a decision, then okay, you know, now you added some uniqueness to it. Now it's a different experience, and you live up to what the game was. If you're not doing that and you're just making a movie, why do it? There's no point. I don't see it being successful because again, you can just go on to, Tubi, Netflix, HBO Max, and you can find tons of movies with the same concept, pretty much.
Yeah, and I will add on to Jose, like for the game, they got all real actors.
Mhm.
For the game, it's all legit actors that you already know of, and they freaking photo scan them into the game. So you're watching a movie already in the game.
The main one, wasn't it Save the
Uh
Cheerleader, Save the World?
Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all their
Oh
games are
yeah.
like that. Every game they make, they get actors. They get legit actors in all their games.
Who was the guy? I remember there being a guy that was like the main character, right?
Oh,
He was from
I
Shield, I think.
Iceman, wasn't it Iceman or
Oh,
his
was it?
brother?
I think he was he in that one or Man of Ramadan? He may have been the next one.
Yeah, I played a few of them, so they've kind of blended in. I thought maybe
Yeah.
he was in it, but I may be wrong. They just released one called The Quarry, and they had Officer Dewey in
Yeah.
it as like
Hmm.
one of the main characters. So they
Funny.
do well in that format. But if you just isolate these as a story, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical slasher.
What makes this cool is like a more updated, like choose your own adventure. You know what I mean? I used to love reading those
Exactly.
as a kid.
Yes.
Those were amazing, and those video games sound like something I'd totally be into, and play. So it's right up my alley, man. But like again, watching it from a visual form doesn't make sense. But if it's like you said, George, like they do like the balderdash thing, then that's interesting. But then it just becomes almost like a gimmick. You know what I mean? And to some extent, it's like you get past like the hey, this is cool that you can do, and it feels almost like a game. But in terms of storytelling, from like a technical filmmaking standpoint, if you have all these alternate paths and all these things, you kind of get lost in the story and you're not telling a true story because you have all these like little side stories. Does that kind of make sense? Like you're not telling like a really flushed out story as best as it could have been, or maybe the best acting you could have done, or you know.
That makes sense. Another thing too, even if you were to go in that direction with the Boulder Dash direction on like a Netflix, because they tend to get, creative like that. The fans of this property are mostly the gamers. They've already played through the different scenarios. I played through the game like 4 or 5 times and got all different types of scenarios. So like I already know the directions. So are you going to change the story in order to keep what's going to be your main audience surprised and entertained? But then if you do that, is it Until Dawn? Then you might as well have just done an original property instead of doing Until Dawn.
So let's get into our main topic then. So what are some movies that you love that you will die for, but your spouse or significant others just hates? So Jose, let's start off with you this time.
Okay. Um, I'll do something more recent. I'll do a more recent movie, and I'm gonna go with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Uh, Best Picture
Blasphemy.
winner,
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
best Picture winner. Great performances. Good. Sci-fi comedy, just pure entertainment. Uh, movie from last year. I've seen it already a couple of times. It gets better. It got better with the second viewing. I'm sure if I do a third viewing, it's probably going to be even more entertaining. Um, he does not like this movie at all. Once was enough for her, and honestly, I can't even say once was enough for her because about 30 or 40 minutes into the movie, that was enough. For her, I lost her 40 minutes into the movie. The phone came out. The whatever game it's on the phone, Candy Crush or something. I started hearing the bleep 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 bleep.
Candy
Like,
started getting crushed. Well, all we know is that.
yeah, in there, and I knew, okay, I'm watching this solo for the rest of this movie. And I guess it for her it was too weird. It was too out there. She tends to prefer movies that are more straightforward. As soon as they start getting very eccentric, as we get with this one, with all the um uh it's weird because she does enjoy like sci-fi and time traveling and things like that. But again, more straightforward. It's with everything everywhere all at once. Just like the title, it is all over the place. But in a good way to me. But I can see for some people, it just might be too much. It might be it pulls the audience in a lot of different like directions. I think when it got to the rock parts with the rocks talking to each other, I saw a couple of eye rolls and there, a little shift in the sea of like, you know what, I don't even want to give like my front to this. So
you turn away,
she shunned it.
Tear coming down.
She shunned it. As soon as the rocks came in, I was just like,
be a brave boy, Jose. Be a brave boy.
I'm like, I'm kind of feeling bad about enjoying these rocks talking.
Yeah, that's funny.
So that would be my choice, my first choice.
All right. How about you, George?
All right. Well, there's an important factor of this we haven't mentioned yet. Me and Dan now have to decide, is she right in her feelings towards this movie? And I gotta say, I love this movie, but I'm in the same situation as you, Jose. Jen didn't enjoy this movie either. And my wife is Vietnamese, and I thought she would have related to a lot of the aspects of this movie. She's just like, nah, one and done is good for me. I don't need to see this again. I respect what they did. I respect it. But God, did it have to be that long? And she's, yeah, kind of in a similar situation.
She's like, well, one time, one place, only once.
Yeah.
As soon as they went to the everything bagel, they were like, no, just one seasoning.
Yeah. I think this is a great movie. I think that they're wrong. Our wives don't know what they're talking about. This is a great
they know
movie.
Nothing. They know nothing, Jon Snow. Nothing.
Nothing all the time, every time.
Every time.
Never just the great, like, take away all the weirdness and stuff, like
sausage fingers. Sausage fingers.
Yeah, just the performances themselves. Yeah, the sausage fingers. But just performances themselves. Like Juan just absolutely killed it in this movie. I mean, we don't need to talk about Michelle Yeoh. She's always going to deliver.
Yeah.
But even out of the story, the performances alone are worth watching. So I can't agree on this one.
Yeah. This is a movie that is very important to me, to my childhood, and it was Spaceballs.
Yeah.
All right. Spaceballs was super near and dear to my heart. I saw Spaceballs before I saw Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was Star Wars at first before I saw this. And I love it. And Mel Brooks is possibly one of the best like things to comedy in general. Never mind movies. Like just he exudes humor. Everything he touches is just pure hilarity. I love Mel Brooks so much. And this is one of the pinnacle things for me. So it's like she thinks I'm the funniest person she knows. This is the best humor to me. She's gonna love this. Similar situation. I popped the DVD in, and I was like, I'm looking at her like, see this? See John Candy as a dog? See? And she's just like
stoic.
I'm like, maybe she didn't get the joke. I don't think she got the joke. I don't think.
Let me explain it to her.
And she's like, I think 15 minutes in, she's like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna stop watching this now, and I'm gonna go and do my own thing. I think she went and played like Mass Effect for like the 15th time on her laptop.
She's like, I could have walked away. but I want you to specifically know that I am walking
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, she's
I
like, you
could've
keep
said I ran
watching
the
this.
snacks.
You're having a good time. I don't want to ruin that, but I'm gonna go play my video games.
Oof.
Yeah.
She's wrong. First of all, she's wrong. I think that movie's great. The great thing about Mel Brooks is that he is an American version of British comedy. Like that's exactly the best way I can describe
Yes.
it. Like he is Monty Python, like the way that it
One
is. And
man. One
yes,
man
one
Monty
man
Python.
that's doing it. And I love Spaceballs. So like I think it's great. I think females, especially, so mine, Crystal, she came from like an acting background. So she likes British comedy. So she liked Spaceballs. Didn't love it, but enjoyed it and appreciate for what it is. Did Joe ever see it? Was there or no?
No, I feel like it wouldn't, so I
I
wouldn't
don't think
even
that's
try.
Joe's.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Joe's
Yeah, I
flavor.
wouldn't
Yeah.
even try.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
with how you talked about the last movie, I don't think that would be the go for her
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. All right. So I am a huge. Okay, which one do I want to go with? Okay, let's go with this one. So I went with one that I just thought was phenomenal acting, really well done, like great movie. One that when I say people are like, yeah, that's movie Tombstone. Tombstone's freaking rad movie.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit there like great
I'll be
acting,
your
man. Like we just
Huckleberry.
yeah, I could be your Huckleberry. Like sitting there seeing like Kurt Russell, man, like Val Kilmer, like Val Kilmer at his peak. Like I love Doc Holliday in this movie. He's one of my favorite characters of any movie. Man, I just don't know if it's females with westerns. They just do not get I got like no love out of anything. Like 10, 20 minutes in,
Shit.
she's checking at her watch, her phone, got on Instagram, and even that got boring, and she was out. She was gone, gone like the Dickens, just riding into the sunset. And there I am walking by watching myself, watching Tombstone, man.
He
But
was not your Huckleberry for
she
that one.
was not my
Uh,
Huckleberry. She did not ride with me on that one, man. Not into the saloon on that one. I'm like, ugh. And I just think females in general, like Django Unchained is the only one, like, okay, she can get into Django Unchained because it's more quippy, it's more high energy, things like
yeah.
that. But I've tried Young Guns, not a fan of Young. I love Young Guns. She
Yeah.
doesn't
It's an
like Young
all-star
Guns.
cast.
Yeah, she doesn't like any of that. Nothing with westerns or horses or pistols with 6 shooters. Nah.
Is that a cowboy hat? No.
You nailed it with the Django thing though, because Jen likes Django, and she
Mhm.
even likes that other one we saw on Netflix. I think it was like The Harder They Fall or something like that, or
Yeah, yep.
the
Oh yeah, I
like
that
she
one.
liked that. She enjoyed that a lot. But I
Mhm.
think because maybe the style, if it's stylistic, then it catches her attention. But
Yeah.
if it's straight up hardcore Western, nah, she's not gonna watch
Yeah.
that.
No.
It's like, what is this, dirt? Nah, I don't want no dirt.
This one's gonna hit you hard, Dan.
Oof.
Oh,
Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
oh,
no.
no,
No.
no.
Like, no. Just no. Again, the common theme: too
Yeah.
weird, too
Oh,
weird, too
yeah.
out there, too eccentric. Felt like she was the one in the chair being forced to like watch this. It's like I Clockwork Orange her into watching Clockwork Orange, and it didn't work. It did not stick. Whatever method they used in the movie, I missed a step because it did not work at all.
Did you strap her down? Did you play the music?
The music.
Yeah.
I knew I forgot something.
And the milk. Don't forget the milk. You need milk.
Yeah,
You
you know, temperature warm is ideal.
You know what? It could have been we were out of regular milk, had to go almond, and that might have been it.
You need some of that ultraviolence, and
That
Yeah.
that's
was
what
all
you
wrong.
need. Damn, that's such a shame because when you get movies like that, especially like we know that they're weird. Like I know that they're
Yeah.
weird, but like they're such like because we're such cinephiles, it's just like look at what the director's doing that like never's been done. Like, oh my God, this is such an original shot. Like you have to see it. They don't care because like it doesn't matter to them. Like the technical stuff isn't like it's just like nerd
Exactly.
stuff that we're geeking out on. But it's like, oh, you don't even know though. Like this is so amazing. Like this was like revolutionary. Like they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah. See, Jen.
What has
Jen
it
has an
done for me
appreciation.
lately?
She respects it. She's like, I can see the hard work they did in this. That I can see the merit. She's like, it's just not meant for me. I'm not supposed to be watching this.
Okay, what you don't know George, is like that's just like a quote that she just got pulled off of Google and like just feed it to my husband just to shut him up.
Let him think that you're kind of
Yep.
understanding what's going on.
Chat GPT, what do I say for this? Just AI responses.
How do I pretend to understand?
So going into something a little more fantastical is for me the whole trilogy of Lord of the Rings. It's another one of those things where, and I know I'm gonna lose some people on this one too, and it makes me sad. I shouldn't even put this on here. I'm working against myself, but I don't care. I love Lord of the Rings. All right, it's a great adventure. It's a good book. It's a good movie, but I couldn't even get. Jen's only watched maybe 10 minutes of the first movie, and that was already. She was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good."
She saw the big feet on the
She
Hobbit.
didn't say anything.
Out.
She like I didn't even notice that she went away. Like we were in our this is when we lived in a studio apartment and we were sitting on the couch and somehow she just migrated to like the computer and just started working on the computer on things.
Like Mass Effect again.
It just happened. Like she just was just over there and all of a sudden I hear I was like, what the fuck typing? And she's just over there. I was like, but the movie's on. She's like, she didn't even say anything. I got this. It's got the hand of like, you just go away.
She was watching the movie and she was like, you know what? I feel like doing work. Work sounds more fun right now.
I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, you know what? For people who argue like, the first one, there's just a lot of walking or whatever crap and nothing really happens. I might give it to you a little bit. All right. The first one's setting up the story. But by part 2 and 3, there's just a lot of fighting. And I was like, come on. I was like, at least watch part 2 or 3. It's like, I get it. The first one, maybe it's a little boring because of the setup. But there's just bloodshed for the rest of the movie. I was like, you don't want to see that? No, I'm good. You watch it if you want to watch it. Let's just say I haven't had a marathon of The Lord of the Rings in a long time. Because as anyone who knows, it's like 3-6 hour for each film. And if I want to watch it, it's an all-day event. I need the whole day. And I can't do it now. I haven't watched the extended cut all in one day in so long because I care for her so much.
Because you're married, damn it.
Stupid.
Stupid idiot. That's the reason why you don't get married. So you watch the extended cut.
And that's like I put on the regular version for her too, because I got the extended and the regular version. I was like, let's just watch the regular one, so you only have to watch like 3 hours instead of like 5, all right? But no.
George is like, I love you because I have to stick with the 3-hour movie.
That's love right there, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'm okay. This one seems a little obvious and on the head, but I thought it'd be fun. I love B sloppy level horror movies. So like The Blob, They Live. Like I've tried making her watch some of these movies, but like if they're so old or so cheaply done, they're not funny to her. They're not funny at all. And she just like, this is bad. This is terrible acting. I'm like, yeah, but like there's like a magic to this. No, there's no magic to it. Not to her. She's just like, this is stupid. I'm out of it. Like she likes some horror, but like very, very small little pieces of it. So like it's B level. I thought I got her to like The Room. Like she sees the magic in The Room. Troll 2, it's too stupid for her. I'm like, Troll 2, what? Like The Room is better off than Troll 2. Like they're both really bad here. Like it's pick your poison. Like, do you want your arm cut off or your leg cut off? They're both painful. One's not better than the other, but there we go.
Oh, see, I'm in the opposite situation. That's the only horror movies I can get Jen to watch is B horror movies. The shittier it is, the more of a chance I got her in.
Yeah.
The Loss of Pastor is her favorite movie.
Oh,
because of how crappy it is.
Because of how bad it is. I tried watching what was it? Peter Rottentail, the other tale on Tubi. So I'm there with my brother, and then we put it on. Literally 8 to 12 seconds in, she got up, boom, she was out. And then it was me and my brother just sitting there watching it for like the last 30 minutes. But it was a really bad movie. Even we shut it off after a while. So yeah. How about you, Jose? Have you ever showed her?
I don't even try. That's a no.
Because you just don't want to get heartbroken, huh? Like horror's such a special thing to you.
It's difficult enough with just regular horror. I have to pick my spots with it. That it was just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try any of those old ones.
Okay.
When we did the 100 movie challenge, anything that was like pre like 95 or anything like that. I was watching on my own.
Oh, like half of them, minimum.
Yeah, I'll go with a current one to kind of go into a different genre. And this is one, the Banshees of Inisherin.
Ooh,
Oh,
she didn't like that? Ugh.
No. She didn't. She did say, appreciated like the acting, the performances in there.
Ah, so she used Jen's method.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not for me.
She's like they're all really good. Uh, Mainly she just didn't like how much of a downer it is and how it ended with pretty much everyone miserable in there. So, she was really hoping for a happier, lighter ending through it, and the movie is just all misery,
It's not
like
about that.
throughout
too real,
Yeah.
too real.
Yeah.
in there. And that's part of the reason why. So like when it ended, she was just like, that's it. Everyone just like their life sucks. Like that's it. There's no more to that. I can understand that a little bit though, because the first time I saw it, I'm like, this is a great, well done movie with amazing performances. But I even said, I was like, this movie does not give you room to breathe. It's just downer after downer after downer, and it just keeps, driving you into the ground, into the very end. So I can understand that. But the movie is just so good that I gotta appreciate it. And I rewatched it again, and I was like, this is still a good movie. But yeah, it didn't have enough cheery or happy moments at least sprinkled in for her entertainment.
I get it, man. I love the movie, but it's one of those ones that's like a slower pace one. So I understand it if the average passive movie fan doesn't like it, right? I get that. I think anybody that's like a huge movie buff, I think appreciate it, and that's who I always
Yeah.
recommend it. And they've all said that they loved it as well. I think there's an appreciation there. But for like somebody again that just casually watches, stuff, or maybe more of a TV viewer, I get why they don't like it. It's slower pace.
All right, so my third one is I'm over old school person, so go with the oldie here. West Side Story, the OG West Side Story. All
Mhm.
right, so the one with like Rita Moreno and everything. That was the one I grew up with. That's the one that's dear to my heart. Me and my mom would watch it all the time growing up, and I'm a theater kid, so musicals is a part of my jam. Jen does not like musicals at all. At all. Like we've talked about it, she's like, I tolerate Moulin Rouge and Sweeney Todd. But that's only really because there's also no dancing. The dancing is another level to it. So if there's dancing and singing, she's just like, why is this happening?
Too
Like it's just
much.
it takes her out of the situation. And I was like, man, so you just really, really hate West Side Story. It's like they're supposed to be fighting in the beginning, but they're dancing. He's like, yeah, why are they dancing? Why are they not really fighting? What a waste of a knife. Someone's not really getting stabbed. So yeah, she did not like West Side Story at all. And it's like, oh, it's just such a beautiful story though. I love it so much. I don't care if there's not enough Puerto Ricans in it. It's still such a good movie.
Ow. Take care of my beating heart. And you're there just getting daggers. Ow. That's funny, man.
Another thing that's a third layer to it too, and it's kind of similar to what you're going through, Jose, is it's old. Jen hates old movies. If there's any hint of like grain or grit to the film, if it's not an HD and up, then just like, no, it's just too old for me.
It's,
I love
it's like
those.
nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Love
what is this?
those.
Old movies? Ugh.
The funny thing is, West Side Story. That's one of the shows that we did in high school.
Yeah. I fought for
Uh,
that freaking musical. I fought for every year.
that was like the opposite, where both gangs were like Hispanic. I was the leader of the
Yeah.
Jets. Yeah.
That's funny.
The Puerto Rican was the
Yeah.
leader of the Jets going against the Puerto
Well,
Ricans.
no. You had it was the Puerto Ricans versus the Dominicans because wasn't
Oh,
Marcel's brother Vladimir the other leader?
yes.
And he's Dominican.
Vladimir. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the proper rivalry. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, never
Yeah.
getting along.
Yeah. For the last one, it's a Marvel movie. Name almost any Marvel movie She's just not having it at all.
None of
Oh,
them.
Almost none
wow.
of them. Like
None?
she'll kind of like Guardians, but like she's just not into it. And even when I took her to watch Endgame, she literally fell asleep. And then the
Oh,
scene,
damn.
I'd never forget this. The scene that we're sitting there and we're watching, and it's like, like a whole the scene that Iron Man dies. Everybody's quiet, everybody's sobbing, and she's sitting there sleeping, and then she woke up. It was like, oh, like very loud in the movie theater. I'm not exaggerating. Goes, oh shit, he died. And everybody's just staring over her. And then she's like, ah, whatever. He's getting old.
Might be the
Dead
worst one.
silence. Dead
Oh.
silence. And I was like, you woke up at the most emotional part of the entire movie. It's like, why did I bring you? I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God.
No.
During the worst moment, and he just said like his final, like he's literally dying on screen. I'm not
He's dead.
exaggerating. Right at that scene. Marvel movies just not having it, doesn't care, nothing. No matter what I try to play, just nope, not in
Is
it.
it Marvel movies or just superhero movies in general?
It's typically, but like she'll like the Dark Knight trilogy, like she likes that one because it's more like real acting. I think it's like the more when it's very comic booky, like that's why I say specifically more Marvel because Marvel plays into more of the comic books.
More poppy.
It's more poppy, yeah. It's just nah, she's just not having it. Doesn't feel real.
Man, so we're trying to say like Robert Downey Jr. wasn't acting his ass off in that
Oh,
film?
100% he was, but she sees him in a robot suit and was like, no.
Yeah, I think consensus here we can't agree with that one.
Yeah, I think she doesn't
Yeah.
understand the nuance of this film.
That's what I'm saying. Explain it to
No.
her, George.
Yeah. Now, if you would have said like Thor, Love and Thunder,
Yeah.
or Miss, Marvel specific movies, like, all right, I can see
Yeah,
that.
no, all of them.
Endgame?
None of them. Just none of them. None of them. Infinity War tried to show. Nope. Not having it.
Avengers Assemble, man.
God, like she's calling like what yeah, like okay, when is Batman coming in? I'm like, no, you're getting the universes mixed. Like, don't say this around the guys. They're gonna make fun of me, okay?
She's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
MC. Go.
Yeah. Bye.
I don't have that. Jen loves the Marvel movies.
Does she?
I am super
Yeah.
safe. Oh yeah. She's she likes all the ones I love. If they're bad, they're bad.
Yeah.
I can say the same thing. Like,
She likes
the
them.
superhero movies are not an issue.
Yeah.
Damn. So it's just me, huh? Just me, probably.
Damn.
All right, guys. I gotta ride this alone. I walk this lonely road.
It
All right.
sounds like you gotta Clockwork Orange her into this.
Yeah, that's true. I might have to
You
do
gotta
that,
do.
huh?
Just play the dun 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 dun. And just have the
Exactly.
Marvel thing over and over again in her
Yeah.
face.
The characters all coming in and they're coming back. I'm like, but they came back. They came back from being snapped. I'm like, nothing.
You got to go into conditioning mode. Once she falls asleep, instead of white noise, you play that song and you just start whispering lines from the movie into her ear. And over and over again. So when she wakes up, she's like, I want to see Iron Man.
I love you 3000.
I need to see it. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So here's a question for you guys. What's one that you recommended that you really didn't think she was gonna like, but surprised the hell out of you? Not only does she love it, she kind of maybe loves it a little more than you do, or at least almost like as equally.
There's been a few, but I'll narrow it down. I would say Prey was one of the latest surprises.
Ooh.
You know,
Hey.
Hulu. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this. Watched it, absolutely loved it. Movie had ended and was still talking about it like days later. Oh,
Wow.
remember this part and like this part and all that and stuff. So I was saying that was probably the biggest surprise to the point that she was like, I hadn't seen the other one. She was like, I want to check out the other Predators.
Okay, so Jose, was that moment that you turned her? You said, "This is the sexiest you've ever sounded." I'm so turned on right now.
Clockwork Orange, what?
Keep talking. Just take your clothes off as you're saying those words. Just
for us cinephiles, it's like that's the sexiest thing ever when you start talking movies that I love.
Tell me about your favorite scene again and
All right,
character
George.
motivation. What?
Oh
Character
yeah.
motivation. Wait, say the Predator again, please. Say the Predator.
For me, and actually, I got to find this out today because I wasn't even positively sure about this. But The Exorcist.
Really?
Jen actually likes, and I didn't think she liked it because she doesn't like spooky films. Like
Mm.
she likes slasher horror films, like where there's blood and gore. But when it's like ghost and spookiness, spiritual stuff, she usually doesn't get into that. That it actually creeps her out, and she can't sleep. But
Mhm.
she puts that as like the best horror movie ever, and like she
That's
actually likes it.
that's right. Joey's the opposite. Ghost, Ghost and that supernatural stuff. Okay,
Mm.
monsters and slashers harder
Oh yeah.
to get on board.
Yeah,
Ah, but Freddy Krueger.
I
I,
know, man.
I do
Yeah.
my marathons by myself
Yeah,
uh,
for the Freddy Krueger.
I hear it. So, all right. For mine, surprisingly, she really liked the Alien franchise. That was the one that I didn't
Oh,
expect.
that's a big win for
That's a
Yes,
good
you.
one.
big
That's
win. But here's the one that she became freaking obsessed with that I just did not freaking expect.
Part four.
Gate, not a
Oh, okay.
movie,
Oh,
TV show, Game of Thrones. She's not into like anything like that's like knights, princess, anything like that. Not into dragon stuff. She became so obsessed with Game of Thrones. She's rewatched the series like 4 to 5 times. I've only seen it like once to two. Game of Thrones, man. I did not expect that at all. She became obsessed with it. Cool.
you know what? Same thing happened with me and Jen.
Yeah.
Because Jen got on board with that. She liked it so much she read all the books.
See, like
Yeah,
more than we did, right? Because
yeah,
it's like, whoa, you love
yeah.
this more than I did.
It's
I
crazy.
Yeah.
I feel kind of in that scenario. I mean, I feel like that was me. I'm not really into. Generally, I won't gravitate to the those period pieces, even if they are fantasy with like knights and dragons and things like that. Few things here and there, but I don't gravitate towards those movies. So normally Game of Thrones would not have attracted me. And then I started watching it and then I got hooked. And I couldn't believe that I became that obsessed with that series because it is not the normal series that I like. So I was her for that series.
Yeah, there you go. I get it. Does Jill like it at all or no? Has she not seen it?
She's doing a rewatch on her own.
See,
So
so there you
There we
go.
go.
So there you
she's
go. You're
enjoying
the
it.
Yeah.
opposite.
Game
Nice.
of Thrones for the ladies, I guess.
I guess it's Khaleesi, right? The Queen of
Maybe.
Dragons. I guess I
Yeah.
had a little way with it. All right. So what's a movie then that's here's a fun question. What's a movie for you guys then that they love that they tried getting you on it? You just cannot get into it. Just like, nope, I'm out.
Well, generally is any period pieces and things like that. So anything with like those corsets and fancy dresses and gentlemen's things from like the 1800s and things like that, not my type of thing. So there's been a few movies of those, but that's not what I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose one that we actually talked about earlier that she's a fan of, and I'm actually not a fan of. I think it's overrated, and George is not going to like this, but Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
In there, that's one where even like I think the other day, I forget what we saw. And she's like, "Oh, we should do like a Lord of the Rings like watch," and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I guess we can do another one." In there, I'll probably be on my phone.
Crushing those
Very,
candies.
I was saying, no,
very now.
if you agree to Lord of the Rings, and she got to watch everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah. All at once.
Yeah. It's like she's only giving up 3 hours to you. You got to give up like a whole lifetime to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to make it through like 27 endings and a ton of walking. So,
Okay. All right, George, what
what
do you
about
got?
you, George?
See, for me, this is hard because Jen's not a cinephile like me, and so she hasn't actually watched many movies. She's kind of like Marie. There's not a lot she's seen, so whatever she has seen, I've watched. Uh, the only thing that comes to mind is she had seen the movie Friday. She saw all the Fridays, and I had never watched any of the Fridays.
What? You
Yeah,
never saw them
at
growing
that
up?
time,
Oh.
and they never appealed to me. They just weren't my cup of tea, and I was right for not watching them because they're not good movies. So
The first one's good. The first one's funny.
I've watched the first one twice, and I still don't
Progress.
see what all the hype is about for that movie. So I don't know, but she liked them because she likes Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
So for her, like anything Chris Tucker's in, for the most part, she's gonna enjoy.
Money
You know?
talks.
Yeah. So, but like that was one of those few movies. I was like, I don't know, not feeling it. It's just not for me.
That was her Spaceballs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The difference is I watched the whole thing though. I stayed dedicated to the task at hand.
And you saw the whole franchise.
I seen the whole freaking franchise, exactly.
Yeah. Anything after the first one was not good. Yeah.
I'm very
Well,
generous. Jose.
I feel like I'm like that too. Dan, George, I think I already got the answer from you for Dan. So, have you been recommended a movie by her and walked away, or do you stick it through?
Okay, there's some that I've walked away and I said I can't do this. So yeah, there's some. She's like, she did musical theater and stuff. So some of the musicals, I'm just like, oh my God, I just can't stand through them. Some of them I can, but some of them I can't. But here are a couple that it's just like, ugh, The Bodyguard, because she loves Whitney Houston. I'm like, ugh, I don't care. And then Mystic Pizza. I
yeah.
don't care
Yeah.
what lies beneath. Like, just certain movies. I don't care what lies beneath. I don't want to know what's behind there. I'm done. Just certain movies. I'm just like, ugh, I can't do it.
I'm gonna
Like,
lie away from this movie.
yeah, they even had that one with Britney Spears. Was it Crossroads? Whatever.
No.
Oh no!
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of it.
Hold on,
Sorry.
wait, hold on. We gotta take a moment.
No.
Does she like Crossroads?
She kind of likes
that?
it a little bit. She kind of likes it a little bit. Doesn't love it, but kind of likes it.
It's
I'm
because
like,
you gave
ugh.
the whole preface for her where she's like, she has the theater background and she's really into acting. You can't be really into acting and then watch a Britney Spears movie and think it's remotely good.
George, she owns the movie Double Platinum on DVD, which has Brandy in it and like something like she likes movies with like certain musical people in it. So like
Does
if
she
it's
like
musical
glitter also?
artists,
Is glitter on your shelf somewhere? Because
she
of her?
had glitter as well. Yes, she does.
Stupid. What is this?
Because they're musical artists. I can't even watch a
What about
second of
Geely?
this. No, that's where she draws the line. No.
Does she not
Okay.
consider J-Lo
Because Jennifer
J-Lo's not a
J-Lo
real
can't sing?
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. See, you guys already figured this out. There
Yeah.
you go.
Okay, hold on. There's some I give forgiveness to. Does she like Purple Rain?
Yes.
I can forgive that one.
Yeah.
I like me some
Yeah.
Purple Rain.
Yeah. But man, some of these other ones, I'm just like, I can't do it. Like,
That's rough.
no, Mariah Carey cannot act.
Oh.
No, they're musical artists for a reason. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching another episode of Not a Strong Start. Please like, subscribe, comment, share on the YouTube channel Not a Strong Start. Let us know what movies you're forced to watch and maybe your significant other hated or they recommended and you hated as well. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast. I'm your host, FU and Sam Raimi. Follow me at King_Sangre.
I am not your host till movies do us part, and you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre on Instagram.
And I'm your other guy. Well, that's it. We're done. And you can follow me at Nicolopolis. And if you would like to have your own little Not a Strong Start shirt, head over to It's NASS at .threadless.com. Links in the bio. Check it out. There's lots of cool stuff over there.
Get it? Get it?
Get it.
Or we'll Clockwork Orange you into liking it.
We're Clockwork Orange.